Hello students, the last part of this topic, wave optics or physical optics, last part of topic, I told you already this is of three parts. One is interference, second part is diffraction, third one is polarization. In this polarization, this polarization part is not there for PU theory examination. It is also not there for Karnataka CET examination. KSET exam, you don't have to bother about this part, but for JEE main, advanced and also NEET, you need to go through some parts of it. It is very simple and easy case, of course. Polarization of the light. What do you mean by polarization of the light? Light electromagnetic waves. Only transverse waves can be polarized. In the case of the light is a electromagnetic wave. It has both electric and magnetic fields. Electromagnetic waves are produced by oscillating charge. If the charge is accelerated charge or oscillating charge automatically has acceleration. Produce the electromagnetic waves, contains electric field and magnetic field. Electric field and is perpendicular to magnetic field. Each one is producing the other one by changing it. So magnetic field is perpendicular to electric field and both are in phase, increasing and decreasing. Change in electric field produces magnetic field, change in magnetic field produces electric field, both can propagate in the vacuum. But our eye vision is because of electric fields. The rods and cones on the retina and nerves on the retina carry the electrical signals, not magnetic field. So we can detect electric field only, not a magnetic field. But for propagation, both electric and magnetic fields are required. In this topic, we are going to discuss only electric fields. Even if you take electric field alone, if you see any light waves, the light, it is a mixture of multiple waves. Any light coming from the light bulbs, candle lights, that light is called the unpolarized light. In the case of the unpolarized light, the waves will be vibrating in the multiple planes. The waves will be vibrating in multiple planes, means if I take the waves, if you take this as an electromagnetic wave, the electric field is perpendicular to magnetic field as a sine function, the propagates and go forward directions. The speed of light. The direction of propagation is perpendicular to both electric field and magnetic field, and electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. But we are not discussing here electric and magnetic field, we are discussing only electric fields. Even if you take electric field also, now imagine that this is the electric field only. We have the two waves here in this model. Two waves are combined. One having the vibrations up and down, another having the vibrations horizontally. Or you can incline at different planes also you can take. So if you are seeing from the front, one is vertical vibration, other one is horizontal vibration. This combination is called as unpolarized. Unpolarized light contains the vibrations of the waves, light waves, which are sinusoidal functions. Sine waves means transverse waves. Transverse waves, vibration or energy vibrates perpendicular to the propagation. This is called as an unpolarized light. In the case of the unpolarized light, we have the vibrations in the multiple planes. Okay, this is a horizontal plane, vertical plane, at another angle also we can take. This is called as the unpolarized light. What is the polarized light then? In the case of the polarized light, we get the vibrations only in a single plane. That means vibrations of the light waves are transverse or confined to a single vibration, that is called as the one-sidedness. Pole means end points, but actually here one-sided means not all sides vibrations there, you are selecting only one-sided vibration. For example, if I take these waves propagating forward, I will take the slit, and slit, this is opaque plate I have taken, and with this narrow slit I have taken in the order of the wavelength. If I have taken this slit, if it is kept in path of the waves transverse is passing, the vibrations which are parallel to the slit will be going through it, but the vibrations perpendicular to the slit will be stopped by it and absorbed by it. This is called as a selective absorption, also called as a dichroism. Here this waves, if you are passing through the slit, but the slit means for light wave slit, what you take is angstrom units order you have to take. For that purpose you take the crystal structure, some particular crystals, calcite crystals or quartz crystals. Through that if you pass the unpolarized in the particular directions, then what you get is the light waves vibrating only in a single plane. You are selecting the waves vibrating only vertically or only horizontally. Only vertically or only horizontally or only in the particular angle inclination. This is called as a polarized light. Polarized light contains the vibrations of the waves only in a single plane. Only this or only this or only this. Then this is called as a plane polarized light. Plane means polarized in the particular planes, horizontal plane or vertical planes we need to consider. This is when you are seeing the light coming towards you, unpolarized light, polarized light. But if you see from the side, how does it look like? If you see the waves from the side, what you see is the light waves going forward directions. You are seeing up and down waves here. This is amplitude, this is also amplitude. So if the wave is going towards the right side, this is a front view, this is a side view. When seeing from the side view, what you see is that this is the direction of propagation of the light. If you see, these amplitudes are drawn, the arrow marks up and down like this. And what you see is the dots are also seen here. These are the tips of the horizontal vibration. These are the vertical vibration, horizontal vibrations. See only the tips. And this tip is called as a dot component. And this arrows is called as a arrow component. Dot components of the waves and arrow component of the waves. Dot components have the vibrations of the waves perpendicular to the plane. This is a plane of the paper you will be mentioning. Now for me this is a plane of the boards. The dot component have the vibrations perpendicular to the plane of the board. Arrow component have the vibrations they are like this in the plane of the boards. This dot looks like a sigma, so it is also called as a sigma component. Sigma component are called as a S component also. S component or sigma component. And this arrow, if you check up like this portion, it look like only this portion of it look like a pi. So it is also called as a pi component or P component. In some cases they will ask you, they will mention. So coming back to this point, this is unpolarized light. This is resultant of all the vibrations we take only along the x-axis and y-axis vibrations. This is also unpolarized light symbols we take. Diagrammatic symbol, this can be modified like this. And this is also unpolarized but a side view, seeing from the side. This is seeing from the front. This is unpolarized light. This is a plain polarized light, vertical vibration, horizontal, and some inclination. And this is only for the case you are seeing selected only vertical vibrations like this, or here only horizontal vibrations. But the same thing if you are seeing from the side waves. If you see from the side, only horizontal dots are only there. Only dots are there means you have the dot component only selected. This is also plane polarized light. And this is only arrow component. Vibrations are like this in the plane. Here vibrations are perpendicular to the plane. This is called as a only arrow component is present. Sometimes you will have the partially polarized light. In the partially polarized light do not contain equal number of arrows and dots. Unequal. Maybe dots more or maybe arrows more. Not equal numbers. So this is called as a partially polarized light. Next, when your light is reflected from the transparent surface like glass surface, water surface, some light waves are reflected, some light wave energy is transmitted through it. At a particular angle of incidence if you have taken, or any other angle other than this particular angle, any other angle if you have taken, the light contains some light will be reflected and contains partially polarized light. Here also you will have the partially polarized light. But at the particular angle called as a polarizing angle if you have taken, unpolarized light falling onto the surface, reflected such that reflected and refracted rays are perpendicular to each other. Reflected, and this point is important, at a particular angle called as a polarizing angle, angle of incidence, I is equals to polarizing angle if you have taken, then the reflected light and refracted light both are perpendicular to each other, 90 degrees it will be. And angle of reflection, angle of reflection, angle of incidence, both are equivalent. So this is also equal to theta p you will get. But angle of refraction depends on the Snell's law. Sin I by sin r is equals to n2 by n1. Snell's law. Is sin I by sin r prime. Here angle of refraction I have taken as r prime is equals to n2 by n1. Snell's law states that sin I by sin r equal to n2 by n1, and refractive index is inversely related to the velocities. Refractive index is inversely proportional to velocities. N2 by n1 is also equal to v1 by v2. V equal to f lambda. F is constant. Frequency always constant during refraction. Reflection also. Frequency depends on only on the nature of the source of the light which is producing the light wave. This V is also equal to f lambda. F is constant, so equal to lambda 1 by lambda 2. Is a Snell's law of refraction. Next is at particular angle the reflection rays are perpendicular to each other, so this angle is 90, but this total is 180. This is angle of reflection, so r prime plus theta p. R prime plus theta p is also supposed to be equal to 90 degrees. This is required for the numericals. R prime is called as the angle of reflection. And Brewster's law. Brewster calculated the value of this theta p. What is according to Brewster's law? Tan theta p, that is when the polarizing angle you have taken, or angle between these two rays is 90 degrees, means tan theta p is nothing but equal to n2 by n1. If it is air n1 is equals to approximately equal to 1. If you have taken air, then n2 becomes equal to n only. So what we take is nothing but equal to directly tan theta p is equals to n of the medium you have to consider if the n1 is air. That is called as a Brewster's law, and the angle is also called as a polarizing angle or Brewster's angle. Theta b also may be mentioned. Snell's law is the angle of refraction related. Sin A by sin r angle of refraction equal to n2 by n1 equal to v1 by v2 equal to lambda 1 by lambda 2. F is constant. Next is the polarites. Polaroids are the devices. Polaroid cameras are there, that is different ones. Polaroid cameras are the instant cameras. That means you will get the printout of the photo also immediately. In the camera itself, printer will be there. You will get the photo instantly when you take the photo. That is different. They are called as the Polaroid camera. That is a trademark name. But this Polaroid is different. This produces a polarized light. Unpolarized light converted into polarized light when passed through these Polaroids. These Polaroids have the molecules arranged in a particular way, order. Generally contains the iodine crystals or the plastic sheet. When the strain is applied, stress and strain applied in the particular way, and along stress pulled up, then the molecules gets arrangement in the particular order. They act like a slit. The molecules will be arranged in the order, and these will be acting like a slit. When light is passed through this alignment means light ray coming out will be polarized perpendicular to the plane of the arrangement, perpendicular to the direction of arrangement of the molecules. Whatever. We take the axis called as a polarizing axis. This is called as a polarizing axis. Whenever the unpolarized light passes through these Polaroid sheets, unpolarized light passes through the Polaroid sheets, the light coming out of the Polaroid will be get polarized, and intensity becomes half. Why? Because we had considered this resultant intensity modified into two parts only, vertical and horizontal. So this is going to be I you take. Total intensity is I. So I is sum of these two intensities, that is I naught and I naught equal to total intensity. I equal to I naught plus I naught is 2 I naught. So if I take this 2 I naught intensity, I have taken I, and when you pass it through this, one component is stopped, means remaining only intensity is present, resultant is only one vibration is present, the intensity becomes half. So incident intensity is unpolarized intensity. I naught means first Polaroid, whatever you are taking that light in coming out, will have the polarized light, you have intensity equal to half of the unpolarized light intensity. But one more Polaroid if you keep in front of it such that their axis is inclined with respect to the first Polaroid, this is called as an analyzer. Analyzer, this is called as a polarizer. The sheet which is used to produce a polarized light from unpolarized light is called as a polarizer. This SER, ZER we can use. American English we use as ZER. England English we use it as a SER. Don't bother about, don't much of that. Meaning is same only. So this is called as a polarizer, and this is called as an analyzer. Analyzer is used to analyze whether the light is polarized or not. So this also has a axis. The light coming from the analyzer, used for the polarized light, already polarized light is there, and when you are using analyzer, we have to take the help of this Malus law to find the intensity of the transmitted light. The light coming out of this analyzer has the intensity I2, and light entering, which is also polarized, has the intensity I1. Then I2 equal to I1 into cos square theta. What is the theta? Theta is the angle between the axis of two Polaroids. So if you take the one Polaroid axis, this is a slit. If you imagine as the axis for this Polaroid, light comes parallel to these vibrations. And I am keep taking the one more Polaroid sheet in front of it. Now this is called as the analyzer. When these two are parallel, whatever vibrations are there coming out of the slit, that means intensity comes out as it is. The angle between these two axes will be 0. Cos 0 is equals to 1. So I2 equal to I1, you will get same intensity comes out. But if I rotate this analyzer by some angle, then for component of this amplitude vibration intensity only we have to take it up, not completely. What component depends on this? Cos theta. So this theta is the angle. As a theta, if you have taken this 45 degrees, cos 45 is 1 by root 2, square means by 2, means intensity becomes equal to half of the incident intensity. But if I rotate it by 90 degrees, called as the cross polarites, if the axis of the two polarites are perpendicular to each other, then theta is 90, cos 90 is 0, intensity becomes 0. There is no light coming out for the cross polarites. Again, if you rotate further, the intensity again increases. That means first intensity maximum decreases to 0 when 90 degrees, again increases when the anti-parallel, again they are equal to similar to the parallel only, that is also it becomes equal to maximum intensity, again rotate, no, intensity decreases when 90 degrees, intensity again becomes 0. As the analyzer is rotated, the intensity decreases to 0 and again increases, again decreases to 0 and again increases. Like that, intensity changing means the incident light is supposed to be polarized light. If the intensity is not changing, that means if you are taking this analyzer, if the light is coming is unpolarized light, if you keep on rotating it, the intensity coming out remains constant, that is equals to half of the incident intensity. Remaining constant means the incident intensity is unpolarized light. If the intensity changing between 0 and maximum as the analyzer rotated, or polarized rotated means what? Already light intensity coming is polarized light, plain polarized light. Where the different type of the polarization, like plain, this is a plain polarization, this is only there in your syllabus. We have the plain polarization and circular polarization. In the case of the circular polarization, the polarized light keeps on rotating like this as it is passing forward directions. Used for the satellite communications, they go like a screw and passes through the clouds also. And also we have elliptical polarization. Circular polarization rotates in a circular path with a constant radius. Elliptical polarization has the vector, this amplitude vector keeps on changing the amplitudes, increases and decreases, A1, A2. As it rotates that polarized light, as it rotates, the amplitude increases and decreases, that's going forward direction. These two act like a screw used to pass through the clouds. Not two dark clouds having lot of water to absorb the light, of course. Otherwise, just like white clouds are there, means these lights can pass. So for communication for the satellite communication purposes, we take the help of this polarized light for the dish antennas, we can say. And polarites are devices used to produce the polarized light. Apart from that, we use the term called as a Nicol prism. Nicol is the name of scientist who made the prism. This prism separates one type of the vibration and only one component comes out. So it is giving out polarized light. So it is called as similar to the Polaroid. You can say Nicol prism works as a Polaroid. What are the formulas you are using for the Polaroid? Use for the Nicol prism. Don't get confused with the name. Next, we have to work out some problems. I will discuss the term here related to the deviation of the light. That we discuss only the numericals. Once again, I am telling this is not required for the P theory and not required for the CET. And one more thing in this is amplitude relations. I gave here as intensities. Intensity is proportional to square of the amplitude, means I naught is proportional to A naught square. This is for unpolarized light. But if you take the polarized light, I1 intensity, I1 is proportional to A1 square. This amplitude here is A1. So I1 is proportional to A1 square. And I1 is also equal to A naught by 2. I1 is also equal to, I naught by 2. I naught is proportional to A naught square. That means this is equals to A naught, this I naught is A naught square by 2. So amplitude, if you want to find out here, that A1 is equals to A1, I1 is proportional to A1 square. So A1 square equal to A naught square by 2. So what is intensity of the polarized light after a polarizer is A1 is equals to A naught by root 2 it becomes. What about the intensity at the another polarizer? You can take any number of the polarites like this and consider the angle between the adjacent polarites only, not the other ones with a gap. So next polarite if you have taken, you have to consider what is the angle between these two axes. Apply the Malus law. Next, if I take one more amplitude here, no, this amplitude equal to A2. What is I2? I2 is proportional to A2 square. I want A2 value, but I2 is equals to, depending on the formula, I2 is equals to also equal to I1 into cos square theta. What is I1 is equals to? I1 is nothing but equal to I naught by 2. That is equals to, this is I naught by 2 into cos square theta. What is I naught is equals to? I naught is also equal to A naught square. So this becomes equal to A naught square by 2 into cos square theta is equals to I2. I2 is equals to A2 square. So A2 equal to root becomes A naught by root 2 into cos square theta. Equation that you can easily find out. Just remember this relation of Malus law, and this is not applicable with the incident light is unpolarized. That is not for Malus law application. You take incident light is already polarized, means take the help of Malus law to find out the intensity coming out from the analyzer. Question number 74. And this polarization is removed for theory only for this academic year. Write only the required formulas. This is required. This is also required Malus law. Brewster's law is required. Malus law for polarites. I2 equal to I1 cos square theta. I1 is polarized light intensity. Theta is the angle between the two axes of the polarites. '74. Ordinary light, if they mention, ordinary light is unpolarized light. One more thing I want to tell you, I forgot to discuss. In the case of the sunlight is directly coming means unpolarized, but after passing through the atmosphere it can be polarized. The light coming from this, if it strikes any molecules like vapor molecules in the atmosphere, then this light, which is unpolarized, split into two parts, polarized and unpolarized, with the dot component and arrow component. The dot component, arrow component will be separated by 90 degrees. So reflected light contains only dot component. Just know the angle here, 90 degrees. The sunlight, while taking the scattering from the molecules in the atmosphere, scattering means spreading in the multiple directions. The light which is scattered perpendicular to the incident direction gets plane polarized. Just know that point. One side dot means other side will be arrow will be there. A beam of ordinary light means unpolarized light, is incident on a system of three polarites. You are taking the three polarites. Unpolarized light passes through. Unpolarized light passes through three polarites. Unpolarized passes through three polarites. Each one is turned through 45 degrees with respect to the previous ones. Each one has axis turned through or rotated by 45 degrees with the previous ones, with the preceding ones. Percentage of incident intensity that emerges out from the system is, find the percentage of incident intensity that emerges. Percentage of incident intensity that emerges out from the third, means out of the system, means collection. You have the three polarites. First is unpolarized. With respect to the first one, you need to consider the angle, that is theta 1. Second one is also with respect to the previous one only, is equals to theta 2. This is the unpolarized intensity I naught. This is a polarized. Intensity becomes equal to I naught by 2. This is again polarized, but different intensity keeps on decreasing. This intensity, now we apply the Malus law. This is nothing but equal to, the vibration will be parallel to this axis. The intensity is I2. Here apply the Malus law. What is that? I2 equal to I1 into cos square theta 1, and here the intensity is I3. Polarized. This intensity is I3 equal to previous intensity, that is I2 into cos square theta 2. We have to take. What they asked is the ratio they asked, the final to initial. What percent of the initial intensity is going out? So why to find out I3 terms. Theta is equals to 45 degrees. So we will take the relation as first polarite. First polarite, you will get I naught is, sorry, 1 minute, I naught is unpolarized light intensity. Unpolarized intensity. And first polarite, if you have taken, first polarization if you have taken, that will be I1 equal to I naught by 2 it becomes. Next is the second polarite, is I2. I2 equal to I1 into cos square theta 1. Theta 1 is 45 degrees. So this becomes equal to I1 is I naught by 2 into cos square 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Squaring is then 1 by 2. This becomes equal to I naught by 4. Next is third polarite, is I3. Already incident light is polarized light means you have to take the help of the Malus law. I3 is equals to previous intensity, I2 into again cos square theta 2. This becomes equal to I2 is I0 by 4 into cos square 45 degrees. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2, square is 1 by 2 again. This becomes equal to I3 is equals to square. I3 is equals to I0 by 8. Your asked is percentage of transmitted intensity is equal to incident output by inputs, means I3 by I0 into 100%, which equals to 1 by 8 into 100%, which is 100 by 8, 4 2s are 25, 4 is 100, 4 2s are 8, 4 25, 4 2s are 4 25s are. So 25 by 2 means 12.5% is I3 by I0%. Next 75. Next problem is 75. Angle between the polarizer and analyzer is 6 degrees, equal to 6 degrees between polarizer and analyzer. Angle between the polarizer and analyzer is 6 degrees. Angle A is the amplitude of the unpolarized light. A is amplitude of unpolarized light. What is amplitude of the light transmitted? I will take this as A is given, we will take it as A0. It is amplitude of polarized light. Separately. This is a polarizer, analyzer. We are drawing like a circular sheets, but they are not, need not be circular sheets. Polarizer are also used, polarized glasses are used even the photography to remove the unnecessary reflections. If we are taking the photograph of the water surface, to remove the reflection, we have to take the rotation of these polarides so that the reflected light which is polarized will be removed. And even the glasses for the aeroplanes, the light sunlight to intensity to reduce it, they will take the help of the polarized sheet on the glass for the in front of the pilots to decrease light intensity. Even the spectacle specs to reduce the light intensity, photogray specs will be there. Whenever the light falls, no, that molecules automatically arrange parallel to each other, and light gets polarized, the intensity decreases. Here angle between these two is, with respect to this position, is theta. Theta is equals to 60 degrees, they mentioned. This is unpolarized light. Unpolarized. Getting the between the polarizer and analyzer. A equal to A0 is the amplitude of the unpolarized light. Axis of the polarizer and analyzer are inclined to each other at 6 degrees. If the amplitude of the unpolarized light incident on the polarizer is A, what is the light transmitted through the analyzer? So this you have to find out. Amplitude of the polarizer light through analyzer is how much, that you have to find out. So we will take it as equals to A2. This A1, this A2 equal to how much? This is a polarizer, this is a analyzer. The intensity here it is I0, this becomes equal to I0 by 2 is I1. The amplitude is A0. Here apply the Malus law. Intensity is I2. First to take a unpolarized light. That is for the polarizer. Sorry. unpolarized light intensity is I naught is proportional to A naught square. A naught is given as A for us. At the end we modify that.